morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here on December the 10th, 2024. And it's a Tuesday. Tuesday. So, a nice crisp morning. This is my logo for my nonprofit. I am the founder of the nonprofit, but it's not my nonprofit. As we all know, nonprofits do not belong to us. They belong to the state or they belong to the country. It depends on how you. And so nonprofits are set up, to serve humanity, and that's what I plan to do. Even though there's some disturbing things going on with nonprofits, and this is not anything. I would people that are, again, if you're doing the right things and you're being genuine and honest and authentic, you're transparent, you can produce documents to prove this or that and the other, then you're fine. But it's so disturbing that nonprofits do belong to the state in which you founded the nonprofit, but sometimes the states are not even paying attention to what people are doing with the funding. I'm just saying that. So just starting that out this morning on, like I said, a nice crisp morning in my neck of the woods. I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificent, and marvelous, because I am. I know sometimes, like I said, I clean my face and everything, but man, as soon as I start filming, stuff just seems to appear, and I have no idea. Woo! So I'm doing this series on the pitfalls of interpersonal relationships, and again, I do not I do not put out videos because I'm attempting to build a large following of people. This is what I'm doing, is building my videos are like a study course for the evolution of the consciousness, okay? And so that's just like any teacher or any guide. A teacher doesn't teach, I hope not, to have everybody like what they are teaching or expect everybody to be following them and following their teaching guide, okay? So that is what's happening with my videos. That's why I do not allow you to make comments. And the reason being is I want you to be protected. And I want your privacy protected. Every now and then I'll mistakenly go in there and allow a comment to post, blah, blah, blah. But I do it for, like I said, I do it for your protection. But you are, people that are listening to my videos, however they're listening to them, you are accountable and responsible for, protecting yourself. Yes. But, you need to use some precautions, have precautions and be very clear about certain things. Just protect yourself, protect your privacy, because that's what we need to regain, is we need to regain our sanity, definitely, but the sacredness of our privacy, the sacredness of our being, BEING. Again, social media is not the place if you cannot to be sharing your situations if you can't handle the blowback. You cannot handle the consequences, because trust me, there are more consequences to come. And you know why? The reason why things are progressing as fast as they are is because, again, the hidden hands and the artificial intelligence, they got their hands into something that they cannot control. And I know there's people in the background, feverish, they're in a frenzy in the background trying to figure out how to stop this train. Okay? Trust me on that. And they're panicking, and they're despondent, and some of them are going to be depressed because they've unleashed some powers via the artificial intelligence, which will eventually or can destroy everybody on this planet. All right? So let's just get our heads out of the sand and be honest. And I know for a lot of people, it's just hard to understand how technology can have so much power. Well, think about vehicles. Vehicles are a form of technology. Okay, A vehicle can be a deadly weapon. Consider all these equipments and toys that our military has. The drones. It's just they're changing, the atom, nuclear weapons, nuclear bombs, whatever. So when it gets into the wrong hands, which it has, it can unleash decades upon centuries upon millennia consequences. And that's what we are going to be faced with. We're going to be faced with the consequences of all of this. And it's all because of, like I told you, the eye nubilia, the eye of God. Okay? Same type of concept I'm attempting to make, that this eye of God, what they call the God nubilia, was created by a human being. Okay, attempting to do what? Gosh, to only know what those intentions were. I'll go back and read back up on it, because I have some information somewhere about, it was someone that was severely had some damage to their consciousness, and this was a highly developed human being, far advanced in their consciousness. So again, it doesn't matter how you go in your consciousness. It is so easy to wrap yourself up into criminal energy, and then you can cause devastation to the planet. But that's not this particular eye of God nubilia. It's not necessarily causing any damage to the planet per se, because I said you can cause some damage to the universe, but it requires a lot more than just being highly consciousness developed, is my point. So, and this could happen, and is there, I think it's there permanently. The eye, you're looking into the eye possibly of the person responsible for this. And imagine what that must be like, to know that you are suspended in a spin of this particular I don't know, whatever this is called, until, and it'll probably be there for trillions or more years. It all depends. But imagine, just imagine being suspended in that kind of reality, and you can't escape. And that's similar to what I'm talking about with the spin, when people are in a spin, and they can't get themselves out of that spin. And someone brought up a term, I don't know, I'm not sure who brought up the term. Let me look it up. They call it the bottleneck mentality. And so, of course, it's philosophers. They're always creating stuff, but they have no idea of the consequences. So it's I guess someone modeled it, and it's it says it's a feature of all systems in perceiving the world through the lens of system thinking. Well, let's look it up. Yeah. It's a philosophy. It's a theory. It's a theory. So let's see what this theory entails. It says it's a metaphor, or to illustrate the construction of information flow within the cognitive system. Okay, that's one commercialized theories and opinions about it. It's a theories of selective attention. Okay, that makes sense. It says a bottleneck theory suggests that individuals have a limited amount of attentional resource that they can use at one time. Oh yeah. And then it says here, refers to the concept that cognitive processing is limited in capacity, and that certain stages of information processing can only handle a limited amount of information at a time. Okay. Someone, yeah. So, and that's true, actually. That is, but yet we have people who think that they created the world. Okay, but they can barely wipe their ass properly. But yet they created the world. You understand that? So yes, that's definitely a theory. But it's based on I think people do the best they can to try to relay information to us based on our modalities, how we accept it, and so forth and so on. So this is going to be part 7, pitfalls of interpersonal relationships. And yesterday I talked about it's a fatality. What's that word? I'm trying to let me see, because I always mispronounce it. Malice.
Malignant.
Malignant. I cannot say that word. It's malice, basically. It's a continuously destructive illness of pathological lying. Yes. That's what we're faced with. It's it keeps progressing and becoming progressively worse. Like a tumor, malignant tumor. It's not self-limiting, is what it says here, and that's the same thing with lying, pathological lying. Okay, it's it's invasive. Yes. Now think about that with lying, not telling the truth. It has metastasized into an invasive condition that's affixed to certain people. The ease and the sophistication of lying. That ease and sophistication of that. It's a skill. I mean, it's a negative skill, but it's a skill nonetheless. Oratories. So today, number 7, I wanted to talk about, how we don't want to, well, it appears that we do not want to face our realities, right? A lot of people just love living in their fantasies, their hallucinations, their, indoctrination. There's love being in fantasy, and they do not want to face their realities. And a lot of it is due to, they have some self-hatred about themselves, about their realities, and they are doing everything in their power to try to get themselves into these fantasies about the universe, to make sense of it. Because a lot of it doesn't make sense if you are applying some of these beliefs that you have, and some of these supernatural beliefs that you have, and not understanding that that we are in a genuine, bona fide is it fixed? It's definitely, when I say individually, it's definitely infinite. We are in a fixed reality individually, but our consciousness, our energy component that created us is finite. Let me make sure I don't mix those up. Okay, so we live in a finite reality, okay, impermanent. But our universe, our spiritual energy, whatever created us, is infinite, having no boundaries or limits. Okay, it's existing beyond. It's existing and existing and existing. That's the energy that created us. It exists and it exists and it exists, and we're part of that. but not materialistically. Materialistically, this is finite. It's not permanent. So at some point we die, these bodies come off of us. We come out of these, our spiritual component comes out of us, and these bodies are in a healthy way, are buried into the ground and become organic matter for the planet. Okay, stand by. And I know for a fact that a lot of us do not like our realities. So that's why we create, the matrix. The matrix does not exist, okay? I know that hurts a lot of scientists out there who are, putting out these theories and opinions based on a movie, based on a science fiction action film. And they said it was written and directed by, and there was some dispute about that, who actually wrote the Matrix phenomena. There was some debate over that, and I'm not sure. There were lawsuits. I remember, and so some, possibly the person that originally created it is doesn't want to be. I guess was paid off. How about that? Yeah, was paid off, and rather than attempt to fight it, they just went on their way, And hey, sometimes that's what you have to do. Just let these people steal your stuff, but if they can compensate you in some way, maybe that's the best outcome to, because it's hard to fight these type of machines of people. It really is, because especially Hollywood type fantasy, illusionary type people in the so-called Hollywood, not necessarily Hollywood, California per se, because they're everywhere, but that's that perception. I'm Superman because I play Superman in the movie. That kind of a disconnect from reality. And a lot of people want to be disconnected from their realities. So, yeah. Well, anyway, so, it's so funny that it's talking about dysphobia. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing that right. DYSPIA. There's a lot of metaphors in these sometimes in these movies, and sometimes the people that are involved do not recognize the metaphor applies to them. So because sometimes you create your creation of your craft, your creativity is all parts of you. You're in them somewhere. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. In other words, it's something about the body image, or what they see. I don't know. I mean, it's just something I am paying attention to, and a lot of things make sense to me. I'm connecting the dots, so to speak, but sometimes it goes over the heads of those who are, attempting to create it as well. Sometimes our own lessons and our own means of learning go over our heads, because we're so a lot of people are so cocky, arrogant, and think they know it all, but they don't realize that they are spilling their realities, their genuine bona fide realities, in what they do in their jobs and their behaviors and actions. So no, we do not live in the matrix, ladies and gentlemen. I know some scientists are attempting to change that. I think I spelled that wrong. Attempting to change that. Yeah, I think I got the word mixed up. But my point is, when you look at the people involved with the matrix, okay, just think of, understand what's going on with those personalities. That's all I'm saying. That are involved in this, how they depict the matrix. Okay, so yes, we get a lot of creativity, from within, but a lot of people are wounded. That's my point. There's a lot of wounded people that put out great work for everybody. And sometimes they usually sit back and wonder, okay, why am I not enjoying this as much as everybody else is? So that's why they always say that a lot of people that are geniuses or talented and extremely creative are the most depressed people in the world, have the most self-hatred. Okay, all you gotta do is pay attention to their behaviors and actions. Yes, it's great to put out great creativity like the Matrix. I don't know. Sometimes you just don't know what you put out into the world, and sometimes some people cannot understand that. It should have been something worked inwardly first before you put it out in the world. In other words, you ought to have healed yourself first before you put out something massively like the Matrix into the world. Because now what? Okay, now what? And so everybody, started jumping on that bandwagon, and then the creativity is lost. It no longer belongs to you, even though you're making billions of dollars off of it. That metaphor of it, because the Matrix is a metaphor, all right, but it's based on theories and opinions, though. It's not based on reality. The Matrix are theories and opinions. You can find some metaphors in it, I should say. The Matrix is theories and opinions. You can find metaphors within it, maybe parables, within the series of the quote unquote the Matrix. But the Matrix is not reality. It's theories and opinions, perceptions, speculation. Okay? And like I said, it took off. And so the people in it and directing it and writing it, they had to use their fantasy and imagination, to keep people happy and keep people coming back. Because I can guarantee you they did not realize it was going to be this big, and I can guarantee you they probably wouldn't have if they had healed themselves first. The directors and the writers that are getting credit, publicly getting credit, even though there was somebody else in the background that possibly decided to settle and have a confidential non-disclosure agreement. We'll pay you this, you move on and let us go on. Because it's like carrying, when you create this kind of monster. That's the same thing with artificial intelligence. So follow me. When you create these type of blockbuster, that Frankenstein mentality, when you create these monsters, okay? When you create these monsters, sometimes they take over and become a life of their own. That is what the Matrix is. The Matrix is fantasy. Is illusion, is imagination, is creativity, but it's not reality. But it took on a life of its own that the writers and the directors could not hold. They could not hold the growth of it, and that's the same thing with artificial intelligence. I'm telling you. So I can guarantee, I'm just using my theories and opinion. If they have known that the Matrix would have, to transition as it has, they would not have put it out. I can guarantee you. They would not. They wouldn't touch it. But they're not. Then who's going to admit that? They made billions upon billions upon billions. But I can guarantee you, there's always bouts of depression and bouts of despondency. I'm making a judgmental theories and opinions about this matrix empire, this matrix phenomenon. Okay, it doesn't exist, but because people were enjoying themselves so much at the movie. You know what? I didn't see it. All I saw was bits and pieces of it. Thankfully, I'm almost thankful. I did not see The Matrix. I had no desire to see it. It came out in 1999, and 1999 to 2000. Talk about The Matrix. We could have had something bigger. We could have had something bigger than The Matrix between the late 90s and the early 2000s. But because of our behaviors and the actions from the hidden hands, that event was canceled. Okay? We could have had something bigger than The Matrix. Or be taught how to be our own matrix. But we keep allowing other people to interfere, and it's all about capitalizing off of the income of it all. And I can guarantee you, these writers, these directors, if they knew what they know now, they probably wouldn't have released this. Okay? And if we were not such pathological liars as we are, to a criminal energy at a scale unseen, where where people on this planet can fool the best of us. Put it that way. Some of us are so sophisticated in our pathological lying, we can fool the best of us, the best of everybody. So that's why I call them they're sophisticated liars. They're great. They're auditories. They can get up and they have all this strength, and they're talking about love and they're talking about peace. But that's anything that's going on. We got genocide happening all over the world from these oratory type, sophisticated type speakers who, are involved in that. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there, gosh. I didn't know this was going to be as long as it is. But, when it comes to understanding the pitfalls of interpersonal relationships, I keep saying it starts from within. And a lot of people are birthing these type of mega big ticket item events like The Matrix, but they do not understand the consequences. So that's what I said. Give people what they want. Allow people to have whatever they want, because you can't stop them anyway. Okay, people are going to do what they're going to do. They keep pushing the envelope, and then they're going to spiral themselves, off a cliff, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. So again, I say, if these writers and directors had known the impact The Matrix would have on this country, on this world, and on this universe, they probably wouldn't have released it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. I'm going to go ahead and send peace and love as well, all over the stars, and the moon, and the mountains. Be kind and gentle with yourself. Breathe. Regain your privacy. Regain your sacredness. And build trust in yourself. I'm going to send peace and love right now, but trust me, I'll be back.